Hey Leo, Mariah here. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing really, really well. So, of course, I want to hop into your reading and see what's going on with you guys. I do feel the need, though, to say that this is a timeless reading. So, normally they are timed, but if you watch this reading at any time, if it resonates or connects with you, just take it, right? So, let's hop right on into this and let's see what is going on with Leo at this time. Let's see what's happening with y'all. What does Leo need to know at this time? We got the Empress coming out for you. What else does Leo need to know at this time? What else does Leo need to know? Let's see, what else? We have the Three of Pentacles, which is the Three of Earth in this deck. Something's right underneath your nose. Literally. But it does not feel like it's been shown to you as of yet. Maybe a small handful will be on the other side of this, and you would be able to relate to this in the comments and say, okay, I know exactly what she's talking about. I remember having that moment happen and everything made sense. So if you've already went through this, let me know in the comments. But for my ones who have not gone through this yet, something's right underneath your nose, meaning you may be in a stage of life where you're trying to figure something out. What am I going to do about my career? What's my next path forward? How am I going to make more money? How am I going to increase my salary? How am I going to handle my living situation? How am I going to get from point A to point B, right? We're trying to understand the steps that are in front of us or the steps that need to be taken so that way we can get to the next path. However, in this process of trying to figure out where we're going to go next, it may have brought strife. It may have brought stress. It may have brought agony. It may have felt daunting, overwhelming. You may have felt burnt out. You may have felt frustrated and conflicted, maybe even defeated and helpless or hopeless at times. That's what comes to mind. But even through feeling those things, we still were wondering, how do I get from point A to point B? And the unknown, right? Those answers we couldn't really answer, those questions that we had that we may have prayed on, right? Or prayed towards. Maybe we try to manifest certain outcomes in our reality. Maybe we went to Spirit, God, our ancestors to try to figure out. Maybe we were trying to make sense of synchronicities and signs that we were getting, but still couldn't put two and two together to make four if it saved our lives. Oddly enough, all of these experiences had to accumulate into like a compound effect, because it feels like what's going to end up happening for you, Leo, or at least the ones that are resonating with this at this moment. It feels like when the time is right, and it's not on your time, you can't set the tone, you can't set the expectations. It's when Spirit says you are ready to be shown X, you will truly be shown that. So while we may be running around with the chicken with our head cut off trying to find an answer to a problem so we can have a solution, and we're still coming up short, we're coming up short because it's not meant to be revealed to you. It's not the timing yet. And when it's revealed to you, it's going to feel like, oh my God, it was sitting in front of me this whole time. It almost is so comical how the universe can almost play mind games with you, or it can be, if you will, a mind F, right? When it clicks. Let me give you an example of just how I can see this playing out for somebody. Let's say you were in a position of, you're working in a job, it's dead end, and let's say it's client based, right? So you're having to deal with clients on a one-on-one basis, but you're not feeling anymore, and you know you need to pivot elsewhere. You just don't know where you need to pivot, and you're in a position where financially, maybe it's not where you want to be, or you want to be able to grow, but again, you feel stunted, you feel stuck, you just don't know where to go next. And the whole time you're still going on with your work day, work life, dealing with your clients. And after a certain period of feeling sick and tired, life starts to change for you a little bit. Whether this is based off your own efforts or the efforts of external events that happens, right? Which can be, let's say you end up moving or you end up going through a loss. There's some big transition that happens before the aha moment, right? But that transition has to happen to clear space for the aha moment. So maybe you go through a bankruptcy, a divorce. Maybe you end up having to deal with new life changes or new life circumstances, right? Maybe you're becoming a mom or a dad or some kind of pregnancy. It could be any new life transition. Keep that in mind. When you are on the other side of that life transition, you're not going to be able to predict the timing of when this happens. And this is where I want to be really responsible with saying this, because all of you guys will have different timings. On the other side of that, It's like you're going to have a aha, come to Jesus kind of moment, not to be religious here, or a moment where it just hits you because of this new life transition you've just gone through or this new life circumstance. And let's go back to the example that I was saying. You go back to dealing with your work. You know it's dead end. You just had this life transition that just happened, or a thing that's going on. And it clicks to you, right? It's not working for you, that career. And you end up talking to your client just about work, just about your work day, your work life. And you normally don't do that. That's normally something that you don't do. That's normally, you don't intertwine your personal feelings with your career and your work, but you end up doing it one day. You just don't really care, right? Life has just went through a full transition for you. You're in that place and you bring it up and that client goes, oh, if you're looking for, something that's better, I have a buddy, or I know somebody, or, I myself, I could even help you out with X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you just gave me the key to getting out of the space that I've been in life. But the whole time you were under my nose. I know this sounds abstract. I know this sounds crazy as shit. Please excuse my language. I don't mean to cuss. But I gotta put emphasis on it because I know it probably sounds like, girl, what are you talking about? I can't imagine 2 and 2 coming together like that. But I'm telling you, this is somebody out there. I know I probably sound crazy. But it comes together like that. It feels like you're in a position where life is maybe lifing a bit right now for you. There's a big transition you go through. But that transition had to happen. And on the other side of that transition is when you end up having this aha moment. 2 and 2 makes sense. You put the pieces together where it gets you a certain result. You do something that you may have not thought to do before. And by doing that thing, it brings in the outcome that you were seeking, that you didn't know was going to be right there under your nose. But now you're not, let me put it this way, because you're not in the same energy you were in prior to the transition, because you're not in the mindset that you're in prior to the transition, because you're not in the emotional or in the physical space that you were in prior to the transition, after post-transition, your mind, your psyche has now shifted. Your energy has now shifted because whatever that transition needed to be shifted to be able to break away, so that way you can finally get the clarity that you're seeking. So you will know where you're at in this phase. I can't determine that for all of you. And mind you, this is solely channel. I've only pulled 2 cards. I didn't even get to the rest of the spread. So I know this is for somebody specifically. If it is connecting with you, you will know where you're at on this stage of your journey, and you're going to be okay. That's one thing that I feel like I have to relate to you. You're going to be all right. When it makes sense, when it comes to pass, there is going to be almost a sense of playful frustration at the universe, because it's like, why couldn't you show me this months ago? Why couldn't you present this to me? Why couldn't I have the clarity months ago when I was sweating bullets, or I was stressing out late at night, or I couldn't eat, or I was overeating because of all the weight and pressure on my back? Why couldn't you show me these signs when I was begging and pleading or praying for it? Why couldn't you make it make sense? If there's a playful frustration, and I call it playful frustration because no, I don't think you're literally frustrated at spirit. It's just the fact of you having to wait and go through these lessons, where it feels like if you would have just brought this in sooner, I wouldn't have had to go through all that. So I had to go through lessons that I really didn't have to go through, but I had to go through to get here, which in reality, you wouldn't have got there without those lessons. If that, I hope I'm a girl. You know what? Somebody will get it. Somebody will get what I'm saying. I just hope this makes sense for somebody. I know it's frustrating. I'm not in your position. I don't know what it is that you are specifically going through, and the severity of whatever it is that you're going through, but it does feel like spirit on the other end is going to make you feel really relieved that the cavalry comes in when it does come in. So it's kind of the phrase of so close, but not quite there. It's like, it may feel like in the season of sweating or stressing or being concerned about something, this may be it, or there's no way out, or where's the light at the end of the tunnel, or how do I salvage the situation to pivot in the way that I need to. But really, I hate to say that this is experience that is just, I really feel like you're going to feel like you didn't need to go through whatever this is. I really do. It's needed experience, but I get how you feel just as a human. You're going to feel like, Spirit, why the hell you made me go through this? Why did I need to deal with this? You saw me praying, crying, and sweating bullets. You telling me you couldn't bring this in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years sooner? I just get that frustration at the universe behind it. But I'm telling you, it's right under your nose. And it's been a twofold process of you and the universe having to co-create together to align the right frequency and opportunity for this to come to pass. Meaning, the energy and the experiences that you were going through was not going to be able to sustain or maintain whatever this answer or the resolution is that Spirit is going to be providing to you that you've been concerned and stressed about. But also, too, on the external end, certain things had to happen, whether it's rejection or issues or complications, or just that feeling of being in purgatory, right? Not knowing where I'm going, just kind of in a loop. Those experiences had to be felt. So not only did we understand, okay, we definitely don't want to stay in this space, but also to give us the motivation, even when we felt the lack of direction or guidance, to still keep going, because going forward is better than just staying in place. And you as a Leo, at least the one I'm speaking to specifically, does not like to stay in place and does not like to sit down and just twiddle their thumbs and hoping that the universe comes saves them. This feels like a Leo that is very proactive, that does not like sitting on their behind. And I don't want to say you're a control freak, but I do have this feeling of you like to be able to be in control of how things play out. You know that obviously you can't control everything, so you give space to surrender, but you do like to be able to be a part of co-creating your destiny. You just don't sit back. You're not a passive Leo. I don't feel a passive energy. If anything, I feel a motivator, a hustler, a go-getter, somebody who is driven, somebody who is determined, but somebody who has been beaten down, who has been tired, and who has been driven to a burnout because of maybe a life cycle you've been in and been going through where it felt like it was never ending, or damn it, how long is it gonna keep going? It's that. It's sad not really being able to take breaks in between life experiences. One thing, okay, now another thing, and then, oh, we got to put back on our boots because now another situation. But all of these things, I'm telling you, there's like a major transition. This isn't a light. So again, major transition that happens. And on the other side, it's like, now I got it. And when that aha moment happens, that is another telltale sign. It feels like for you, Leo, where you're going to realize that chapter of my life is finally closed. I'm now in a new chapter of my life. You'll that aha, when that clarity just fully comes, your direction is fully lit up for you. I'm getting like doe eyes, right? Like a deer. Your eyes are like, oh, this is where I need to go. This is where I need to be. It's going to click. Oh, I'm in my second chapter of life. I'm in a new life cycle. Because we all have life cycles. They say what, every 5 years, every 7 years, we go through a brand new life cycle. On the other side, you'll realize, oh, I'm in my new life cycle. So the lessons and things you've learned are going to be distant memories, your mountains in the past, and you're coming into a new version of your own. You get clarity. Oh, okay. Anything? I didn't really get to end your spread. Okay, let me just see before I wrap up here. Why am I being told to give you this message, Leo? Why am I being told? The Two of Pentacles in the reverse. The Ace of Swords in the reverse. Why am I being told to give Leo this message? And the Two of Cups. King of Wands. If you felt like you were fated to suffer, you're not. If you felt like you were forsaken at any point, you're not. And I think throughout the journey, you've had many moments and many opportunities to see how Spirit, to see how God works in your life and how, Spirit works in your favor. So you know you're not alone. Maybe you've even gotten synchronicities or even had, I guess I would even say it, paranormal experiences, just confirming to you that you're not alone, whether it's a loved one or a deceased one, Spirit. So your faith has always been here intact, even if at times it may have wavered due to frustration. You've always been really locked in. I emphasize that because there's no change in that now. I don't care what your reality look like or where you're at on the journey. There's nothing about this that's changing now. You do feel, it does feel like you are very spiritually protected. You're very spiritually guided, and it feels like Spirit is wanting you to know that you are loved. This has nothing to do with anybody externally or romantically, even though I have a Two of Cups here. This feels like Spirit wanting you to know how much you are genuinely loved and cared for on the other side. That despite what it may feel like, what you're going through and what you're having to deal with, yes, we all got our issues, Leo, but Spirit sees how much you've had to endure and how much you've had to deal with. And wherever you may be at on this journey, you will really feel the magnificence of Spirit's love for you when it clicks. I promise you, I don't know you personally. I don't know you from a can of paint, but I feel so strong in that conviction to relay that to you. You are truly going to see how much you are loved by Spirit, the universe, your ancestors, the ones who have lived before you, and that you still carry their DNA. You are going to see how much you are truly loved when this clicks. And it's like, finally, it's been under my nose this whole time. Oh my God. And it's just a rejoicing feeling. You're going to rejoice because now you have purpose. You have guidance. You have clear direction. You know how to handle the negative situations, and now the positive situation. It's like you just know how to go about it and maneuver. Mentally, emotionally, logistically, resourcefully. And I just get this praise, like you prayed, oh my God, thank you. Like just a strong praise. So you're covered. It's been a long journey, but you're covered. I guess that's what Spirit's wanting me to let you know. I hope it made sense to somebody, wherever you're at on your journey. Anyway, if you would like a private reading, of course, the link is in the description box below. But if this is where I leave you, I hope you take away from the message what you need to take away. And you take care.